Morning students, this is Padmanabham, NEET botany teacher. In this class, we are going to start about flower. In the previous class, we completed the inflorescence, types of inflorescence, cymose type, racemose types, special types, etc. After completion of the inflorescence topic, now in this class I am going to explain the flower. Flower is the reproductive unit in angiospermic plants. That is, in the higher plants, flowering plants or angiospermic plants, the flower is a morphological unit which is meant for sexual reproduction, which involves in reproduction process. Ultimately, the flower turned into fruit and seeds. That the seeds are the structures which can germinate and give the next generation plants. That is offsprings or next generation or daughter plants. Right? So flower actually reproductive unit. What is the morphology of flower? The external feature of flower, how it was developed, what are the parts of flower, how they are arranged. Let us see about flower. First of all, the modified shoot on the peduncle, the contents nodes and internodes were developed. The stalk of the flower is called what, ma? Already we told na? Pedicel. Stalk of the flower is pedicel. The modified shoot which bear flowers are called what? Inflorescence axis or peduncle. Inflorescence axis or peduncle, on which the stalked flowers have pedicels, or without stalk the flowers are said to be sessile. Okay. On pedicel, that is the stalk of the flower, the condensed tip of the pedicel is called thalamus or receptacle. The condensed tip of the pedicel, that is the stalk of flower, is called thalamus or receptacle or torus also, on which, that means on the condensed tip, on the condensed or broad-ended receptacle at respective nodes, like in main shoot, at every node the main leaves are developed, green leaves. At every node the leaves are developed. We told already, we discussed the arrangement of leaf on branch or main axis is called phyllotaxy. Likewise, here also the nodes are restricted, internodes are condensed. So, 4 nodes are found which are short distances. 4 nodes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Likewise, on the tip of the pedicel, or condensed tip of the pedicel, 4 nodes were developed with short internodes. One node, another node. In between 2 nodes, the area is called what, ma? Internode, right? So this internode length was shortened. That means with the short internodes, their four nodes are developed. Where? On the tip of the pedicel. On the tip of the pedicel. That is called thalamus or torus. At every node, like normal leaves, the modified floral leaves are developed. At first node, the modified leaves are developed. Again second node, third node and fourth node. Right? So at every node, the modified leaves are developed called floral leaves or floral appendages. Are you understood? So on the condensed tip of the pedicel, four nodes with three short internodes. One node, two nodes, three nodes, four nodes. How many internodes? In between four nodes, there are three internodes are there. Is it right? In between four condensed nodes, there are three internodes. So in a flower, four nodes, three internodes are found. Keep in your mind. Four nodes, in between nodes, the short distance is called internode. So in a typical angiospermic flower, four nodes and three internodes are found. At every node, the modified leaves called floral leaves are developed, or floral appendages are developed. In a typical flower, the four whorls which are arranged in whorls, which are developed in whorls. The outermost whorl, that is the first whorl, develops at the first node is called calyx. First node, the modified floral leaf which are developed in a whorl, 3 or 4 or 5 or many, called what? Calyx. The second whorl also produce leaves. The leaves which develops at the second node is said to be corolla. The leaves which are develops at the second node are said to be corolla. The third node produces modified appendage called androecium. Androecium. Then the fourth node produces gynoecium. So likewise, at every node, the floral appendages are developed at respective node in whorls. So the first whorl modified leaves, floral leaves called calyx. Second whorl leaves are called corolla. Third whorl leaves are called androecium. Fourth whorl is said to be gynoecium. These are the technical terms. First whorl, calyx, leaves of flower. Second whorl leaves of flower is said to be corolla. Third whorl leaves is said to be androecium. Fourth whorl said to be gynoecium. What are the individual names of these floral whorls? First, what is first? Calyx. Calyx has the modified floral leaves named sepals. Calyx, the first whorl, leaves are said to be what? Sepals. Generally, the sepals are green in color. Sepals are generally green color, which was useful to protect the inner whorls. That is corolla, androecium and gynoecium. So this is a green in color, which is in protective function and participate in photosynthesis also. Green means it has a chloroplast. Within the chloroplast, chlorophyll pigments trap the sunlight and participate in photosynthesis. Okay, so green leaves are said to be sepals. Right? Next, which is useful for what purpose? Protection. So, the next corolla, which is bright in color, different colors. You know, just imagine rose. The petals of rose flower is in color, that is rose. You imagine jasmine, the petals of jasmine flower is in white color, colorless. The petals of samanti, that means what? Chrysanthemum, yellow in color. Likewise, different flowers has different bright color leaves, that is found in second whorl. Such second whorl is called corolla. The petals are the individual leaves. Petals, sepals, petals.
Bright different colors in different species, right? So, which is useful for attraction and give scented smell, perfume. Different flower gives different fragrance, perfumes, and also have nectar glands with different attractive colors. What is the main function of these colored petals? Means they attract insects. Why? What is the necessary to attract the insects or birds or any animal? Means bring pollination. During fertilization period, that means during the matured periods, these attracted petals or colored petals attracts the pollinating agents. Some flowers are continuously visited by a particular insect or a particular bird or a particular animal for pollination purpose. What is pollination? Transfer of pollen grain from the anthers to stigma. Transfer of pollen grain from anthers to stigma. Here, pollen grains are the male reproductive unit. Stigma, style, ovary are the female reproductive units. For fertilization, the male and female gametes meet. Then only the fertilization takes place. So the transfer of male gametes to the female gametes, the male gametes are present inside the pollen grains, that is male gametophyte, that was transferred to the stigma and thereby enter into style and finally reaches to ovary. There in the ovules, female gametes are developed. So the male gametes reaches to female gamete through a process called pollination in higher flowers, higher plants, flowering plants. So carrying of pollen grain through wind or water also takes place in certain plants like grasses, water plants. But in higher plants, the attractive petals attract the insects, birds, moths, bees, flies, etc. as their pollinating agents. So the pollinating agents are attracted by the colored petals, right? So here sepals are useful for protection, petals are useful for attraction only. There is no direct involvement in pollination and fertilization. There is no direct involvement in fertilization. The calyx and corolla, that is the sepals and petals, are supporting organs. Direct involvement was not seen. So the calyx and corolla, that is sepals and petals, are called as accessory organs. Are supporting organs. Accessory organs, not necessary. Accessory means supporting organs, right? Third whorl is called androecium. Androecium is the structure or modified leaves having stamens. The modified leaves of the whole androecium are called stamens. Each stamen has two parts, that is one filament and one globose structure called anther. So filament and anther. Right? So stamen has two parts. One is a stalk called filament. The other one, globose, fertile part is called anther. Within the anther, the sporogenous tissue develops pollen grains. About the development of pollen grains, structure of anther, dehiscence, these are all we discussed in reproduction topic, right? But just structurally, morphological structure you must know. Filament anther. Within the anther, the spore mother cells undergo meiosis to produce pollen grains. Each pollen grain is considered as male gametophyte which carry the male gamete, right? So pollen grains are developed in the anther. Anther is a part of stamen. Number of stamens are united together in a group called androecium. So the third wall of the flower, androecium, which consists number of stamens 2, 3, 4 or 5 or many. Each stamen having the filament and anther. Within the anther, pollen grains are developed. Pollen grains are otherwise called as male reproductive units or male gametophytes. Male gametophyte. Gametophyte means the structure which carry the gametes, right? So androecium is responsible for what, ma? Male reproductive unit. Androecium is considered as male reproductive unit. Androecium consists the modified leaves called stamens. Each stamen has two parts, stalk and anther. Within the anther, pollen grains are developed. So androecium considered as male reproductive unit in a flower. Okay, clear? Next. The fourth node produces gynoecium. Gynoecium. The modified leaves of gynoecium is said to be carpel or pistil. The modified leaves of gynoecium is called as carpel or pistil. Modified leaves of androecium are called stamens. Okay. So carpel or pistil has three parts. That is stigma, style and ovary. Stigma, style and ovary. So stigma, style, ovary are the three parts in a carpel. Are you understand, ma? So one carpel has three parts: stigma, style, ovary. Such carpels unite, are free and forms a whole called gynoecium. So gynoecium is the fourth whole, develops at the innermost node of the flower, which consists modified leaves called carpels or pistil. Each and every carpel has three parts, that is a stigma, style, ovary. Okay. Stigma is responsible to receive pollen grains at the time of pollination fertilization. So stigma acts as landing platform for pollen grain. So receiving area of pollen grain in the carpel is stigma. Right? Next, style. Style is the stalk-like structures which connects the stigma with ovary. So stigma to ovary between style is present. It is a long tube-like structure at the time of fertilization which allows the growth of pollen tube. So style is useful for what? Growth of pollen tube takes place through the style from stigma and reaches to where? Ovary. Within the ovary, one or many in some plants, in some flowers, one ovary has one ovule, whereas in some flowers, some other flowers, one ovary have number of ovules, right? So what is ovule? The structure present inside the ovary. The structure which develops within the ovary are called ovules. Technically, the ovule is otherwise called as megasporangium. The pollen grains are otherwise called as anthers are otherwise called as microsporangium. Anthers are otherwise called as microsporangium because they produce microspores or pollen grains. Right? Ovule is otherwise called as megasporangium. Inside the ovule, ovary ulla ovule. Inside the ovule, the female gametophyte was develops. Inside the female gametophyte, one egg cell or female gamete was develops. So these are all detailing we will discuss under reproduction topic. Just you observe the morphology. Stigma, style, ovary, collectively called as carpel or pistil. This is the female reproductive unit which produces female gametes. Female gametes are embedded within the female gametophyte. Female gametophyte develops within the ovule or megasporangium. Ovule is embedded in ovary. Okay. So the gynoecium is a responsible structure for female reproductive unit. Androecium is responsible for male reproductive unit. Both androecium and gynoecium considered as necessary organs. Both so androecium and gynoecium in a flower, which produces respectively the stamens and carpels, are the necessary organs for fertilization, right? So calyx and corolla, which produces sepals and petals, are accessory organs. These two, first and second whole leaves, modified floral leaves, does not take part directly in fertilization. One is useful for protection, one is useful for attraction of pollinating agents. But androecium and gynoecium, by producing stamens and carpels, they directly involved in fertilization. So they are called necessary organs. Third and fourth whorl. First and second whorl are useful protection and attraction. So it is called accessory organs or supporting organs. That is the four modified leaves consisting in a typical angiospermic flower, right? In some plants like lily are monocot plants. In some plants like lily and all monocotic plants, the calyx plus corolla are not differentiated. We told now calyx has the sepals which are green in color. Corolla is in different color. Okay, but in lily or in some monocot plants, majority of monocot plants, the flowers produces calyx and corolla same color. So calyx, sepals, corolla, petals. These are not differentiated. Both calyx plus corolla produce same color. Calyx and corolla both are in same color. What else may be the color? Green or other color. Two whorls are in same color. So there is no use of these calyx and corolla terms. There the term was used as perianth. One of the important technical term. Perianth means both calyx and corolla, first whorl and second whorl, both are in same color, no distinction. Hence, there the first and second whorl in such flowers like lily and monocot flowers are together called as perianth lobes or perianth. The leaves of perianth is called tepals. Perianth is the first and second whorl in monocot flowers which are not distinguishable as calyx and corolla. Both are in same color. So, they are said to be perianth. The individual leaves of perianth is called or is termed as tepals. Okay. So, this is the four whorls of a flower. So, brief morphological structures of flower was completed, right? Next, symmetry of flower. Symmetry means structural arrangement of the floral leaves in different flowers. In different flowers. We know we have large number of angiospermic plants. Large number of groups are there. Different flower have, different species have different structural symmetries in the flowers. So the arrangements of the floral leaves, arrangement of floral leaves in different species is in different conditions. So based on the symmetry, the structural symmetries, numerical symmetry and positional symmetry is there. That is one, structural symmetry. What is a structural symmetry? Here, the arrangement of floral leaves with respect to other whorls, how they are arranged, cyclically or whorl or any other. Whenever you take a flower and cut into two equal halves, which are giving two equal halves in any planes, some flowers gives two equal halves in only one plane, some other flowers does not give equal halves. Based on the structural symmetry, the flowers are classified into three types. That is one, actinomorphic or radial symmetry. Very important, listen carefully. When an actinomorphic flower gives two exact halves, will cut in any direction based on the center. If you cut in this vertical plane, which gives two equal halves, or which gives two equal halves in this vertical plane, in this vertical plane, in this vertical plane, means a flower which can cut into two equal halves at any vertical plane passing through its center. So listen carefully, a flower which can cut into two equal halves at any vertical plane passing through its center. Such flowers are technically termed as actinomorphic flowers. The symmetry which exhibit by the flowers are said to be radial symmetry. For example, mustard, datura, chilies, etc. Mustard, datura, chili, hibiscus, etc. Whatever it may be. Right? So the examples which are given in NCERT book are necessary. You find out by reading the NCERT book the examples underlined which are given at a particular subheading. That is important. Additional examples are given in our material in some other materials. Need not to by heart that examples. Just you remember, just you recollect the examples at a particular subheading given in NCERT. So number of examples are there, number of subheadings are there in this morphology topic. Under each and every subheading, examples are there. Okay, you must by heart or you must keep in your mind the examples which are given in NCERT. Okay, that is important for NEET examinations. So in NEET examinations, whenever the questions are framed based on the examples and subheadings given in NCERT only, additional material is there, additional examples also there, but not necessary, right? Next, second one, zygomorphic flowers or bilateral symmetry. Zygomorphic flower or bilateral symmetry. Here you see a flower which can cut into two equal halves in only one vertical plane passing through its center. Only one vertical plane. So if we cut a flower in one vertical plane which gives two equal halves, but if you cut like this, it cannot give. If you cut like this, it cannot give. So in any other planes, it cannot give equal halves. Only in one vertical plane. Only these flowers gives two exact equal halves. Such flowers are said to be zygomorphic flowers. The symmetry is said to be bilateral symmetry. Examples: peas, beans, gulmohar. Pea, beans, gulmohar are the examples given in NCERT. In these flowers, generally the flowers belongs to Fabaceae family. Fabaceae is otherwise called as Leguminosae, right? So Fabaceae flowers have such arrangement, means which gives two equal halves in only one vertical plane. Such flowers are called zygomorphic flowers. Symmetry is bilateral symmetry. Okay, are you clear? Next, thirdly, asymmetric flowers means no symmetry. So structurally, their arrangement was not same. These flowers did not cut into two equal halves at any plane. So asymmetry means no symmetry. These flowers does not give exact halves at any plane, under any plane. Such flowers are called asymmetric flowers. There is no symmetry. Example, Kenna. Kenna indica. Kenna indica. Terrestrial lotus. Common name. Terrestrial lotus. Not need Kenna. You remember Kenna word for asymmetry. Pea, beans, Gulmohar are Fabaceae family members. For zygomorphic or bilateral symmetry, actinomorphic or radial symmetry, chilies, mustard, brinjal, datura, China rose, etc., which were given in NCERT. You please remember, right? That is about the structural symmetry. Next, second one, numerical symmetry. Numerical symmetry. I already told the floral whorls, leaves are arranged in the respective whorls now. Outermost whorl matma, calyx. In calyx, the each and every leaf is called what? Sepals. So in your flower, the sepals are 3, suppose, or 6, or 9, or 10, 15, likewise. Based on the number of floral leaves, calyx, corolla generally, not androecium and gynoecium, generally preferable calyx and corolla number. Based on the number of calyx and corolla in a flower, the numerical symmetry was given. Numerical symmetry was given. Based on the number of floral leaves, the numerical symmetry was divisible into 3 types. That is 1, trimerous condition, tetramerous, and pentamerous. What is tri? 3. Tetra means what? 4. Penta means what? 5. Calyx, corolla are 3 in number. In a flower, 3 calyx, 3 corolla, or multiplies of 3. Three or 6 or 9, that is multiple number of 3. Okay, so calyx may be 3, corolla may be 6, stamens may be 3, carpels may be 6, whatever it may be, multiples of 3, 3, 6 or 9. The each word are in 3 in number or multiplies of 3 in number. Suppose that flowers are considered as trimerous flowers, generally found in monocot plants. Example, Liliaceae family. Monocot members, all monocot members generally having this number symmetry, that is 3 or multiplies of 3. The number of floral leaves are in 3 in number or multiplies of 3 in number. So monocot plants exhibit this numerical symmetry, trimerous. Then what is tetramerous? The floral leaves are 4 or multiplies of 4 in number. 4 1 is 4, 4 2s are 8, 4 3s are 12, likewise 4 or 8 or 12 or 16 or 20, likewise, right? Whenever the floral leaves are 4, 8 or 12 or multiplies of 4 in number, that symmetry is called a tetramerous symmetry, found in Brassicaceae family or mustard family or cruciferae family. Right? Brassicaceae is one of the family in angiospermic plants, or it is simply called as mustard family or cruciferae family. In this family number of families are there, but one example, tetramerous condition was seen. Next, pentamerous means the floral leaves are 5 or 10 or 15 or 20 in number. Floral leaves are 5, 10, 15, 20, multiples of 5. Such flowers are called pentamerous flowers, found in Fabaceae and in Solanaceae families. Why? Because Brassicaceae in our syllabus, Fabaceae, Solanaceae also included in this chapter in our syllabus. Liliaceae also included. So, what are the families given in our syllabus for NEET examination? I am giving examples in that only. So, there is no examples in NCERT book for this subheading. But related subheadings there may be asked. So, like I gave examples for this disciplinary in our syllabus examples, right? So, trimerous flowers means what, ma? The floral leaves are 3 or multiplies of 3 in number. Majority of monocot plants have this symmetry. Example, Liliaceae. Tetramerous means floral leaves are 4 or multiplies of 4 in number. Example, Brassicaceae, mustard and cruciferae or pentamerous means the floral leaves are 5 in number or multiplies of 5 in number. Example, Fabaceae and Solanaceae. Fabaceae and Solanaceae flowers have pentamerous condition. Brassicaceae family member have tetramerous condition. Monocot plants, that is Liliaceae family members, have trimerous condition. These three are numerical symmetry, right? Already we gave structural symmetry, actinomorphic flowers, zygomorphic flowers and asymmetric flowers. These are all basics, ma. Reproductive units, basics, flower symmetries. Next we are going to explain about positional symmetry. Positional symmetry. Hypogynous, perigynous, epigynous flowers based on positional symmetry, right? In the next class we are going to discuss about positional symmetry, then individual floral leaves, calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium, whose arrangements will be discussed in the next classes. So go through with the textbook first, NCERT book, and then read our Achyuta material to get some more informations and watch the video of the flower topic. By correlating these points in video class, in NCERT book, in the Achyuta material, you must collectively write your notes and prepare well, right? Thank you. Meet you again in the next class.